up, y'all? Why you got two of these?
What was it like playing with the lead?
For the lead? Oh, man, it was different. No, it was good. I think, obviously, like you hinted at, we haven't had, many games where we've been up or had a lot of leads. So, it feels good, build a little bit of a cushion and, be able to just kind of get a bunch of guys through and, just kind of find something, let a lot of guys, get in there and feel it. So I think it was good for us.
Cooper, the last few games, you and Ryan have been dominating. Y'all's on-court duo is definitely something that's been getting a ton of buzz. What about playing with Ryan works so well, and what do you like about y'all's on-court duo?
Yeah, I think Ryan's just the type of player where it's just easy to be alongside. He just makes everybody better out there. When he plays like he has been the last couple of games, and he just been ultra confident, and that's what you have to do. It just makes everybody better. So I love playing with Ryan. Obviously we haven't had a ton of time on the court first couple of games here, but it's been great. He's a great player and a great person.
One thing that Coach Kidd touched on before the game is he harped about y'all's on-court partnership, but he also talked about y'all's friendship and y'all cheering for one another. Could you dive in a little bit deep into what y'all's friendship looks like off the court as well?
Yeah, I think, me, Ryan, Miles as well, Musa, the four of us coming in here, even though, we're all at different stages in our lives, and, some of us did, different amounts of years in college and whatnot, but we're all kind of going through the same thing. You're a rookie together, and you only are a rookie once, so just trying to build that continuity and go through it together and just kind of not feel like we're alone out here, I think it's easy to, go to a city, go to the league, and you kind of feel alone and isolated, so those are just, great people, the three of those guys, and, I've got pretty close with each and every one of them.
Part of a rookie experience is, occasionally having foul trouble. Pretty unusual to have, 3 and 4 minutes for you. How do you overcome that frustration? You got to sit most of the stretch and then come back in, kind of on defense.
Yeah, it's not easy. I think, part of it, to go out there and still be myself and know, I only have 3. I'm gonna get 3 more, but obviously you have to be cautious of it. But just trusting my teammates, knowing that now when they drive on me, I just gotta straight up and let my teammates make the plays, and might have to give one up. But part of it's it's not bad either. I got a sit down for a little minute early on and stay fresh a little longer. So it's not, sometimes it balances out. But so I felt good. But yeah, obviously. Looking forward to the next couple of games. I'm just going to get attacked, right off the jump. So that'll be fun. But, just got to make a statement and show them I'm going to, sit down and get stops.
You're finally getting a sense of what it's like to play alongside Anthony Davis.
He's great. It's so much better for us when he's out there. Obviously, the caliber player he is. And, I think just between him and Clay on the court at the same time, the amount of gravity that those two guys have of just pulling defenses toward them and, kind of just creating space out there. It's huge for me. Guys are going to double him, and now I'm, finding cutting lanes and, kind of playing off him. It's been a treat for me to kind of, be alongside him, and he just made our team so much better.
On top of that, can you just walk us through the last play? It was like 2 minutes left, and you kind of finished AD's layup for him. How'd you see that play?
Yeah, like I said, AD's an incredible player, and he just, the type of guy just makes the right play. So it's so easy to play off him, and he made a drive, man, stepped up, and, just right place, right time, and, was able to finish it off for him. So it's just, it's fun to be out there with him.
I want to talk about your shot selection, too, because it seems like you don't force a lot of shots. Like, you genuinely make the right play normally all the time. So what's your process like? Because we asked Coach Kidd, he said sometimes you're asking questions of, hey, am I shooting too much? Am I not shooting enough? What's that balance been like for you?
Yeah, I think a lot of people told me I was being too passive early on, and there was some games where I was being too passive. But just that level of confidence, my coaches and my teammates have that in me, and they're telling me that I need to be out more aggressive and assertive. That it's just, it makes it easy for me to just be myself, and just go out there and get to my spots and get my looks that I want to get off. And I know when I take the shot that I want to get on each possession, that I'm going to live with the outcome, make or miss.
Your shooting's been great last few games. Is it just coincidental, or does having Anthony out there open up those new opportunities or better opportunities?
Yeah, just like I said, it's easy to play alongside him. The gravity that he has, and so just playing off of him. I think everybody feels a lot better when they get a couple easy looks early, and just to get a backdoor cut pass from him or, just an easy one early, off his gravity, it just helps me a lot just to get going in some of these games for sure.
You knew your career was going to start without Kyrie, but that was about a month without AD. How do you think you sort of handled that and handled sort of maybe more of the load being on your shoulders?
Yeah, I think I learned a lot. I think I learned a lot throughout that period, and as a team, I think we learned a lot as well. Obviously, it wasn't the start we were looking for, hoping to have, but I think it'll give us a lot of gratitude moving forward if we can, find success and we can think back to, a really rocky start. So I think we learned a lot. I learned a lot personally, and just I think I grew a lot in that time period as well. And hopefully I'm going to continue to grow and keep getting better going forward.
Whether it was zone switches or traps, just what did you guys see in the film from the last game that helped you adjust in this game to come up with the victory?
Yeah, I mean they play with incredible pace. So first thing that we wanted to do tonight was just stop their transition looks and kind of limit as many as we could of just getting back on defense and slowing them down. And then besides that, it's a lot of one-on-one defense. Playing against them, they're a team that just moves the ball and will break you down one-on-one. So it's just a lot of taking pride in guarding your man and getting stops. But I think we did a good job of just helping each other out. Being in our gaps early to show and go home, and just trusting each other in that way.
Cooper, a fun one after a win. Who was on your Spotify Wrapped?
You said what?
Spotify Wrapped or Apple?
I don't listen to a ton of music, so I'm not even really sure. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Ryan, you're really playing. You're just locked in right now. Where's the confidence level at right now?
Very high, always. I just feel like I put the work in, and if you do that, you can be confident in your work and just go out there and be free. So I'm real confident.
How much pride do you take in just finding the open teammate?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make the right play out there. We got a bunch of talented guys on the squad, and give them the ball on time, on target, they're gonna do the rest. So that's definitely a point of emphasis for me.
Earlier today, Coach Kidd said that you have the ability to calm the group. I mean, I was kind of looking at, you're giving an assist to Clay, AD, like they're connecting with you, smiles on their face. How are you building this relationship with vets in the league?
Yeah, I think relationships start off the court, and chemistry starts off the court. You gotta build that trust with guys and get to know them and understand how they work and how you can communicate with them. So that's where it starts. Start training camp and every day when we're in the gym together, and then from there you can talk to them a certain way on the court. So definitely building a good relationship with a bunch of these guys.
And I think one thing people talk a lot about with Cooper is just competitiveness. Just from what you've seen in person, what do you think about the competitive fire, the will to win that he's got?
High level. He's done it for his whole life. Montverde, he didn't lose. Duke, he barely lost. I'm sure he didn't lose when he was in Maine. So he does it on both ends of the floor consistently every single night, and that's special for an 18-year-old. People forget he's 18. He shouldn't even be here right now. So it's crazy for what he's doing.
When you have a game like the other night, 28 points and 10 assists, that would seemingly put you on such a high. Is it hard to come down off that high and actually find a way to build off that?
Not really, because we got Miami coming here today, and that's a big time matchup. So it's the NBA. You got to do it consistently. If you just do it one night, it doesn't matter. There's 82 games, and you got to go out there every night and be consistent. So it's easy to come back to reality.
And Coach Kidd talked about y'all's closeness, you and Cooper. It's not just a Montverde thing, is it? What goes into that?
I think we're both just young guys experiencing the league, a dream of both of ours for a long time, and we're experiencing it and going through it together. So we got a lot of things that we can bounce ideas off of each other, and we just like to joke around and have fun. So it's been real fun.
What do you think makes you and Cooper's on-court partnership, kind of y'all's duo, so special so far?
I think we could both handle the ball, both pass the ball, both try and make the right decision out there on the court. So when you're playing with guys like that are just super unselfish, the game just flows easily, and it's been fun.
And you just became the first undrafted rookie point guard since 1967 to score 15 and 10 in consecutive games. What do these kind of accolades mean to you?
It's nice, it's a blessing. Obviously, it shows that my work is paying off. But like I said, you got to be consistent in this league, man. And I'm trying to play in this league for a long time, so I want to be able to do it night in, night out.
Miami's one of the fastest teams in the league, 106 possessions for 48 minutes. What was your assessment on their pace of play, and then how did you respond to that?
Yeah, I think their pace of play is they try and play fast. They don't really run a lot of ball screens. They try and just drive gaps and make plays off that. I mean, we played them last week, so quick kind of understood a little bit of what they did, and I think our coaches do a great job of getting us prepared and understanding the game plan for what we got to do.
With you starting at the 1 and Davis is now back in the lineup, what have you thought of that dynamic when you're running different actions with Davis, and how does he make the game easier for you, and how do you think you make the game easier for him?
Yeah, I think he makes the game real easy. He MVP caliber player. You could just give it to him in the pocket, and he's gonna do the rest. He got a lot of game in that mid-range area. He can score at the rim. He can get fouled. So he does a lot of things, and I'm just trying to get him the ball at the right time, man. I don't know if how much easier I'm making his job. He's a great player, and he's been doing it for a long time. So I just try and do what I can to help everybody out and win games.
Yeah, one more question. So you're just out there playing and enjoying yourself. I'm sure you don't think about this while you're playing, but off the court, do you think about the business side of this, that you could be forcing the Mavericks into making a business decision? I mean, 50 games is going to run out pretty quick at the rate you're going.
Yeah, I mean, I let my agents and everybody figure that out. Obviously that's there, and obviously I'm on a 2A. But at the end of the day, if I go on the court and handle business and do my job at a high level, then that will all take care of itself when the time comes. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'm just trying to win games and enjoy hooping. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
How did you see the offense kind of working?
Yeah, I think when you talk, Dwayne's not here. He told us that we needed to have 8 guys in double figures. So that's our goal right now. We're listening to DP advice. No, the 7 guys in scoring the ball's moving. And so you can see that Ryan, again, offensively on passing and also being able to score for us. And then setting the table. He had 1 turnover today. He's probably upset about that one. But just the calmness, as we talked about before the game, and then the bench scoring with Clay coming off the bench and giving us a spark was big.
And then can you kind of explain the Miami Heat defense where they kind of had I think it was Wiggins on Nembhard and Mitchell on Flagg. What do you think that
they're just in the zone, and so to explain, they're just trying to slow us down, and we kind of went into punt formation there in the 4th, where we're just running the clock down, shoot it with 2 seconds. So to their credit, their zone work slowed us down. We have to be better. We had some turnovers in that zone, so but a lot of good things still to keep the lead. Miami's a very good team, and they put a lot of pressure on your defense, and I thought we kept the pace at our pace, being able to run when we had opportunity, and then making them work on the defensive end.
A little less than 2 minutes left. Cooper has a mid-range jumper block, then the score right at the rim. And what do you think about him already just making all of these kind of winning plays already?
Yeah, we talked about that before too, right? The clutch, he's been big for us. We've leaned on him on both ends of the ball, understanding offensively being able to score, and then defensively coming up with a big block. And he makes winning plays, not just in the clutch, but throughout the game. Another good game for him, understanding getting in foul trouble. He played with 3 fouls. We trusted him that he could play with 3 fouls, and he did a great job there in the first half.
You alluded to it before the game, but how much better does Davis look now than, training camp and the early part of the season?
He looks great. He's moving, I think, a lot better. I think he's comfortable. Again, being able to defensively block shots and rebound for us, and then be able to guard one-on-one, and where we don't have to go double team is something that we enjoy. But his skill set offensively, again, being able to get the foul or be able to come up with a basket for us down the stretch was big.
What does having a true point guard like Nembhard on the floor do for this offense?
It does a lot. I think I keep saying we talked about this before the game. The Miami game, I think, has set the tone for him and for us, being able to play at that level, make plays for his teammates and for himself, and his teammates and the coaching staff trust when he's out on the floor, and you can see that.
Over the last few games, one thing that you've done that you maybe didn't do as much at the beginning of the year was pair D'Angelo Russell with a point guard, whether that's Ryan Nembhard or Brandon Williams. What are you looking for out of those certain lineups, and do you think that putting D'Lo alongside another point guard has helped maximize his skills?
Yeah, I think we've looked at that in the last 2 games, being able to have D'Lo out there as another ball handler, but also another shooter. And then when you have B. Will or Ryan with him, letting those guys be able to make the plays for him. And I think he's flourished in this new role for, you know, playing off the ball for us. The trust of him being able to shoot it, but also for him to be able to make plays too.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
We got Cooper up next.